The 11 a.m. rule. Use the 11 a.m. rule in your life. What's the 11 a.m. rule, Stephen? What is this? Is it, oh, I can't text my crush before 11 a.m. You gotta wait. Nope, that's not it. It's got nothing to do with your dating life. What's the 11 a.m. rule? Do I have to get like 3 hours of sunlight? Nope, it's not it. 11 a.m. rule is whatever you felt from the day before, you get to feel that until 11 a.m. and then drop it. Process your feelings, process your emotions, and then drop it because you got a new day ahead of you. Honestly, I like to do a little earlier. I like to do 9 a.m. I like to get that out of the way early and be like, it's a new dawn, it's a new day. We got shit to do. Where did I learn this? I gotta shout out my two friends, Becky and Clayton. I learned this from a comedy in a weird way. There's a festival called the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Anyone watching from Europe, you probably know. And then some people in America might know, but this is like, it's one of the oldest alternative comedy festivals in the world. You'll see fringe acts, that's why it's called that. So like we saw a show, one of the shows, there's a guy on stage, 1 a.m., he was called the Cheese Man. It was a 2-hour show. The first hour of the show, he convinced the audience that there was no cheese. And he wanted people to leave. The second hour of the show, he brought the cheese out. And he kept eating the cheese. And he goes, oh, that's not my cheese. I wonder where it went. And that was the show. So that's to give you a flavor. And it was an amazing show. But that's a flavor of what the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is like. And I had the chance to go, luckily, and watch my friends, watch Clayton, watch Becky work on their act. And the unique thing, why this matters, is you do your act every day for 30 days in a row at the Fringe Festival. So if you're a performer, you know that means you're going to be losing your mind. You'll lose your mind by the end of 30 days doing the same thing over and over and over again and refining it. You're going to have really good days and you're going to have really bad days. And I was talking to them on the phone before I got there, and that's where the concept of the 11 a.m. rule was told to me by another performer that they had met. And man, my friend Clayton, I remember he was telling me, he's like, I went for a swim one day. It was so nice. It was my one day off. I went for a swim, because you can go down to Leith and take a swim in the waters. It's cold, but you can just drench yourself. And he got out and he was like, I had such a great day after a bad show the day before. I felt great. I went up to check my stuff and I noticed I lost my wallet. And he was like, that's the lowest I've felt that whole festival. No ID, no money, no nothing. He had nothing on him. And I was like, Clay, how did you not break from this? How did this not make you go insane, but make you feel really bad? And his answer was, hey, yeah, it did. I did feel bad, but I had to get back to the city. And the simple answer is I had another show the next day. 12 p.m. He had a noon show, which is crazy. But he's like, I had to forget about it because it's even if you feel bad, the world is not going to stop moving. I think that's what's so interesting about I don't want to call it an experiment, but these things like the Fringe Festival is even if you have a bad show or a bad day or something happens, and we always go, something happens, we go, it happens to me, to you. Oh, this happens to you. But the reality is that things just happen. That's what life is. And then what our choice is how to perceive it. How are we going to perceive that? That's what we have control over, right? Are we going to perceive this in a good way, a bad way? It's just a way. That's really what it is. And what the 11 a.m. rule is so good about is it helps you take these, if life is a big wave, you know, whether it's a sine wave or however you want to, I haven't taken physics in a long time, but it helps you take these peaks and these valleys, and those can feel really good. Good days can feel really good, bad days can feel really bad, but it helps you regulate that a little bit. And I think that's important. You can have a really bad day, and the great thing about having a bad day is you go, I have another day in front of me. The reality of good days is you don't know if you have a bad day coming after it. So that's also a really good reminder to appreciate the good days. If you have a really great show, some of my best feelings is, you know, I do a show in the city with my friends. We have a great show. People have a great time. We go to the diner afterwards. Sometimes people from the show want to come with. That's amazing. That's such a privilege to do a show with your friends and have a good time and people like it. There's so many people in any art form because all of it is lonely for a good reason. So those little chances you have to work with someone and experience something is so good. But you know what you have to do, and you know what I have to do is sometimes I go, that's great. This is now a memory because tomorrow is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. I got a new day ahead of me. Maybe I can make this day as good as the other day was. Or maybe in the case of Clayton, I go, look, I lost my ID, I lost my money. Thank God I got my passport. But really right now what's important is tomorrow, it's noon, and I got a show. And that was really cool to see. And it was helpful for me too because I had to help Clayton flyer for some of those shows at 11 a.m. And I think that act of pushing yourself in whatever way, it can lead to interesting outcomes like this. And the 11 a.m. rule, I really believe it can be applied to any facets of life. I'm just telling you a story about how I came upon it, how I saw it being used. But if you're having a bad day at work, you got another day ahead of you. Bad day at the gym, a bad day with whoever you're dating. Hopefully it's just one bad day and then, you know, you can get over it. But it starts here, all right? And you got to give yourself the room to feel those feelings and have that perception of, oh, this felt like this felt like that. But the reality is it happened. And then we're lucky enough to get another chance the next day. So I hope you guys are able to use the 11 a.m. rule. And let me know what you think of it.